Hey everybody, welcome back to Half-Ass Gaming. I'm John, coming to you from the 978. Today, you're looking at my screen. I got Rebels in the White House on my screen, and Vassal, and I decided to maybe give this. I think this scenario needs some love, and that's what I'm here to do. Give this a little love today. I just want to talk about this scenario. I want to start playing it. I want to solo it and see how far I get. I haven't recorded anything in a while here, so this system's being a little clunky with me. But anyways, yeah, I wanted to talk about um, what makes a scenario good. Played it several times. Everything comes down to a tight game. Either way, any side could win. It is hard for the Rebels to win this. So, um, if you're getting ready to set up a game of this, you definitely probably want to have the player with more experience take the Rebs. And I'll get into that in a second as to why that is. But let's take a look around. I'm going to minimize the map and show you what's going on, and let's see what's happening. So, by the way, I'm playing a campaign game from Winchester. I think this is like 19 turns. It's going to move over to the left over here. And here's what you have. You get the rebel forces sitting over here situated in Winchester. They can start at Front Royal too, but there's a big penalty assessed to the rebels if you do decide to start from Front Royal. And that's 20 turns, and I think Winchester is one less turn. Doesn't really matter to me. I'm not going to take that big penalty. I'm just going to go ahead and start it from right here. And let's look around the map. So as you move north, yeah, Frederick County, Harper's Ferry's over here. You have the valley, pretty much Berkeley, Jefferson County. Then you get into Maryland. There's Hagerstown up here. Here's the mountain ranges, Harper's Ferry, like I said, and then you get into what is Loudoun County and Fairfax County with the approaches to Washington, and then north of that you get into back into Maryland, and here's Baltimore over here. Now let's look at the big strategy of what you want, what's involved here. I'm going to go all the way back over to the left, and I'm going to zoom out. So there's the title of the scenario is Rebels in the White House. Okay, and I guess what I want to leave you with here is when you there's many ways to score in this game as the Rebels. Okay, you need 160 points. Sounds like a lot, but there's many ways for them to score, accumulate points. And one would assume that they either need to get into Washington D.C. or Baltimore to be successful in this campaign. But that's not the case. You can get to 160 points without ever setting foot in either one of those two cities. Okay, it can be done. Um, Last time that was one of my strategies, and I narrowly avoided being successful. I think I got to like 146 points. I didn't really drive my guys too far. That is to say, the Confederates. I didn't drive them that hard. I was a little cautious. I could have drove them harder, but I was very mindful of my supply situation, and I could have probably been a little less concerned with supply and drove the guys harder and upped my victory points. But the main thing I just want to convey to you is you don't need to take Washington. You don't need to get into Baltimore to be successful with the rebels. Okay. So let's look at that. So they're the rebels. They start off in a situation where let's take a good look at them. This is how they start off. They're actually going to be at fatigue 2 in exhausted mode right here. Okay. And I want to talk about the Rebs for a second, because here is one of the keys for them to be successful. It's 19 turns. you've got to push these guys. You basically have to, whatever your objectives are, you need to attain those objectives, and then you need to get back to Loudoun County. All right, Loudoun, or there's two counties in over the Potomac, I guess, or whatever. But basically, it's Loudoun County. You got to get everybody back to Loudoun, or you will suffer a substantial penalty. And the other thing I got to convey is when you look at these guys, you're looking at Gordon. He's an 8. Okay, you're looking at Eccles. He's a 7. That's Breckenridge's crew. Early's crew, Rhodes and Ramsor, there's 6s, and then you have a smattering of there's like 4 different um, rebel cav units, and you may get one other guy, and based on a random event, you may get another unit who's hamstrung with where he's able to travel to. And so that's basically it. So the thing that's important and it's imperative, it's the overriding thing is these these rebel units, you have very little manpower, very little resources. You can't be wasting your guys on stupid ass attacks or EM losses. You just can't do it. Um, More so than in a regular game, because if you're in dealing with the rebels in other games, they got lots, 14s, 12s, 13s. But this is what you have. You got an 8, a 7, and 2 6s for infantry, and like I said, EM losses or stupid ass attacks, or it's that borderline attack where I want to take this town, but it's like a 2 or 3 to 1, and you just I don't want to gamble it because I can't take even one hit or 2 hits to a unit that's a 6 is just it's devastating. So you've got to be aggressive, yes, but you cannot take stupid ass losses more so than any other other scenarios here. Um, let's talk about the Union player. So let me go up to here. The West Virginia guys are basically here. Here's some of them right here. They're it says turn 4, but they're going to be activated much quicker than that. There's a smattering of not very powerful Union units all over the place. They're going to be activated by the Rebs. There's like 3 different factors that gets them activated really quickly. I don't believe the Rebs can go into, what is it, Loudoun County until turn 8. I could be wrong on that. By the way, let me just say this right here. How proficient am I with with this rule set? Um, I gotta say 75, 85%. There's a couple things I don't get that I'm gonna have to dig into a little deeper. Well, let me discuss that in a second. So what you have is that you at some point the West Virginia crew is going to be activated, and there's a substantial amount of West Virginians. They're not very powerful. They are and they're not, but you'll get an 11th strength unit, a 14th strength unit, but their quality isn't all that, and they're going to come from the northwestern part of the map. That is to say, up here, up in this area, towards West Virginia, and that's where they're going to come from. And then the other way of securing power it's pretty interesting. We go back to Washington and Baltimore, and that's where units are going to come in. The Army of the Virginia. There's an interesting way of securing that manpower. I'm trying to get Washington back on the screen here, and I'm having a hard time doing it. So they're basically. Let me just. Are you kidding me? Why can't I make this happen? All right, there it is. Washington or Baltimore, and what you're going to happen, they're in holding boxes, and it's a little bit of like a 2 or 3 step process to get the AOP units on the board. And here's what's interesting: you can you can withdraw some of the units, none of the units, or all of the units, but every manpower is going to cost you 2 points, 2 victory points to the Confederates. For instance, one of my games, my opponent took out 22 points in manpower. Well, I just pocketed 44 victory points. And like I said, I got to get to 160. So that's a substantial amount. Um, he could take out a lot more of that, but it depends on what you want to, how many VPs you want to get back. And there is a mechanism for sending that manpower back to the holding pens or back to DC, but I think you only get maybe half of the VPs back. I'm not so sure about that, but there is a mechanism for that. So as you can see, Washington is sprinkled with all these forts. Okay, very heavily defended. There's victory points with getting certain for the rebels to hold certain counties. There's living. It's pretty good. There's a lot of ways for the Rebs to secure victory points here, and it's really interesting. The Union's going to bring on more forces, so they got to move quickly. They've got to really, like I said, the Rebs, they got to pick their fights, man. Anything that could possibly lose them manpower has got to be avoided. I mean, and EM losses, absolutely, it can't happen for the Rebs. So, having said that, I've just wasted 12 minutes giving you the big picture. Um, and what I've tried to do in my first couple of games of this is I've tried to secure points without having to go into DC, without having to go to Baltimore and then getting back. Can you get 160 that way? Sure as hell can. It can be done. Getting into like Alexandria, getting into DC, um, and and doing that way, or getting into Baltimore. You can do it, but you're going to have a tough time. It can be done, absolutely, and it's big points doing that. But I'm actually going to, since I'm playing myself, I'm going to try to play this game without having to get into those cities, and I'm going to try to squeak out a 160 point victory, which can be done. Um, anyway, so why don't we start this up and get going? All right, so I'm going to move over to the left side right here, and you're going to see that the Union forces will be activated rather quickly. Maybe not this turn, but certainly the beginning of the second turn. Even though they have they have things that say turn 4. No, it's not going to take that long. So let me just give this a quick look and see what the initiative stuff is. This is scenario 5, by the way. All special rules of 4. So you want to read 4 because everything in 4 applies to 5, and 5 has additional things. So let me see what it says right here as far as the initiative. Okay, advanced rules, blah, 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 West Virginia. Okay, excellent. All right. Confederate setup. All right, good. All right. Anything about who has the first and net? I think that it's just normal. No, actually, I think the rebels go until they activate the Union. Is that is that how it is? Hold on. Wait a minute. They have the Union does have some rear echelon peeps that can move. Let me make sure of that before yeah, like this guy Wisewell, I'm sure he can move. All right, so we'll just do a normal activation to start the game. All right, And as always, I'll drop 2 die. The Rebs are the first. No, the Union's the first of 2. All right, here we go. First and hit. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let's actually let's go by the book and do this. I always do this. I'll start something and go right to first and. Well, we got to go by advanced advanced game sequence of play. Random events. I don't think that takes effect for the first turn or 2. Let's get the definitive word on that. Random events. Hold on. Hold on. Random events. Come on, man. Why is it so hard to find? Wait a minute. Either player rolls 2 of the players can. Okay. Random events. Does it take effect right on the first turn? It it doesn't say that you have to wait with random events. So let's go ahead and roll it. A lot of games, it's like random events don't take place on the first 2 turns. So I'm going to go ahead and roll 2 die for random events. It's a 7. And that sucks because 7 is heat. Let me tell you, last time I played this, there were like 11 days of heat. And we're going to have heat right now, and that's fine. I don't even care. Let me go to the game thing and throw a heat up thing up here. Game markers, terrain, heat. Where is it? Turn marker. We're going to need that too. July 2nd and heat. All right, right off the bat, we've got heat. Okay, and so what does heat do? Heat basically gives you a +1 modifier for your extended marches, and that's not a bad rule. The only problem I have with heat is just there's no limit to them. Not that I know of. You can just have like heat for like 10 turns. It's ridiculous. But that it is what it is. It's pretty damn hot down there in July. I ran a Harper's Ferry phase, no. Reinforcement phase, no. Leader transfer. Actually, the Union has no leaders to transfer. We're not going to. Rebs don't want any of that. By the way, one thing I did forget to tell you: the rebel supply situation is a bitch. All right, so you've got to stay on top of that and just be forewarned if you take the Rebs in this game. It is a big problem. You've got to manage it. You've got to stay on top of it. Anyways, railroad repair, no attachment, action cycle. Let's get right to this. I might just bang out a turn or 2 because we're already at 17 minutes. All right, now you can see the rebels are fatigued too, and they are exhausted. Right? I got to get the. I didn't do the manpower. Wait a minute. Didn't I fatigue exhausted? Where is exhausted on the? Hold on. Something's going on. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So now all the rebel units are fatigued too and exhausted, and here's what they're going to do. Johnson, for some reason, is not. Are they disorganized as well? No, I don't believe they are. They're not disorganized. They're exhausted and fatigued too. All right. So let's get the cav going. All right. Johnson. He's going to go to 3. Fatigue 3. 2 die +1. Let me make this bigger. Yeah, that's as big as we want to go. 2 die +1. He gets to go 10. Where's he going to go to? Right up, straight up there. Okay, cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and now I think right off the bat we've activated the Union guys, and I think that's explained on the scenario 4 write-up, where it says Union movement restrictions. Union player may not activate or entrench, blah 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 until they're alerted. Confederate Union has moved within 4 hexes of Berkeley or Jefferson County. I think I just did that. Berkeley or Jefferson County. wait a minute. Berkeley or no, I haven't done that. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I have. I'm within 4 hexes of Berkeley or Jefferson County. Okay, so having said that, the union is quote unquote air quotes here alerted. So the union is alerted. So the first thing we do here is all these turn 4 markers, they're coming off. See, that didn't take long. Delete. All these turn 4 markers come off. The union is alerted. And that also means other things when we talk about Army of Potomac, because we can get the ball rolling with them where they start moving. I can't show you the chart of what goes on because I don't have that ability in this Microsoft software, which is pretty lame. But it's like a 3-step process to get them activated. And when you have the union, the West Virginia crew, you don't even start rolling for them until like July 8th, and it's July 2nd right now. So all I'm doing is taking the markers off for turn 4, and there's quite a bit of them too. This one right here. Okay. I'm going to have to minimize this big time just to look for, here's another one on Alexandria. Okay, the union has been alerted. Okay, I got to get all these off. Turn 4s. Oh, 3 more over in Baltimore area. Okay. Delete. Come on, delete. Get them all off. All right. Okay, moving back westward. Just want to make sure I got them all off. It's not the end of the world if I forgot one, because I know they all have to come off. All right, let's go forward with this situation right here. All right, so the Rebs have moved. They've alerted the Union, and let's take it from there. Now I'll make this picture bigger. We're going to do a regular. We're going to do a regular knit. Yeah, Union's the first of 2 numbers, as always. So it's still Rebs and knit. Oh, by the way, we didn't do Johnson's EM. Let's take care of that. Let's take care of Johnson's EM and then Rebel and knit. His EM is fine. He rolled a 1. Okay, so we're going to activate. I guess we'll do in Bowden too. Fatigue. Increase. 2 die plus 1. And he gets a massive 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Here's his EM. He's actually, he would flip. He would flip anyways, and plus when you add the 1 for heat, he's gonna flip right now. Manpower disorg. All right, sweet. A knit die roll, 2 die. 1-5. Rebels continue to win the knit. Jackson, fatigue. 2 die plus 1. Wow, a massive 12. He's going to go with Imboden. Did Imboden get 12? Indeed, he did. So here's his, let's do his EM. Fatigue. No, it's orange. Here's his EM. 6, he flips. Manpower, disorg. All right, and a die roll, 2 die. Union wins this. Okay, how's the Union going to respond? Okay, Union. What they're going to do is they're going to retreat a little bit, and I believe we're going to move Stahl back. Stahl is Cav, fatigue 1, 2 die. He has an 8 and 1, 2. He'll just go right there. What is this called? Darksville. Darky, but it's going to E in there. Darksville or whatever. I did die roll, 2 die. 4-6 belongs to the Rebs, and I think they're going to move another Cav. McCausland, fatigue. 2 die plus 1. He gets to go 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. He'll get in here with Johnson. Here's his EM roll. 5 plus the 1. He would have flipped anyway. So 3 out of the 4 flip. Manpower, disorg. That's interesting. A knit die roll, 2 die. 2-5 belongs to the Reb. Rebs are going to pass. So their strategy is, even though they're up against the clock, 19 turns, a lot of shit to do, they're not going to push these guys. They're not going to push them. They pass, goes over to the Union. What is the Union going to do? Union is, they might have quite a few things they want to do. Mulligan's going to hold this position right here. Stahl will stay right there. Siegel. Siegel is going to, he's actually going to entrench. This is late war entrench. Fatigue 1, and he's going to entrench to right there. A knit die roll, 2 die. 5, 6, Rebs, pass. Union. Now let's go look at the guys in the, actually, our man Weber, he's going to entrench. Entrench, give him a fatigue, solid. A knit die roll, 2 die. 1, 3, Rebs, pass, belongs to the Union. PHB, West Virginia, fatigue. 1 die. He moves 2. 1, 2. Knit die roll, 2 die. Union wins it again. PHB, fatigue. Goes a 2. 1 die. Oh, he only gets to go 1. That's cray-cray. All right. And a die roll. 4, 5. Rebs pass. Goes to PHB, fatigue 3. Well, he's going to go right here. Actually, you know what? Here's his die roll. He gets a 5. 1, 2, 3. Here's his EM roll. It's a 6. He flips. What are you doing with your flip? Yeah, you flip. Right now, undo. I got that mixed up with something else. Disorg. And a die roll, 2 die. 3, 4 belongs to the Rebs. They pass. Goes to the Union. I'm going to minimize out so I can find Union guys. I'm going towards DC. Oh, let's take this turn 4 off of Lowell. Delete. Lowell is going to move up a bit. 2 die for him. Fatigue. 2 die. 4. How about 1, 2, 3, 4. Knit die roll, 2 die. Union, Lowell go into 2. 2 die. It's 4 more. How about 1, 2, 3? That's a pretty good place for him to be. And a die roll, 2 die. So it's 2-1 Union. Let's go back anymore. 8th Illinois. Sure, they'll move. Fatigue, 2 die. 2, 4. They're going to move 6. How about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a die roll today. Union wins again. 8 Illinois, 2 die. 7, and they'll do 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Net die roll, 2 die. 2, 4. Rebs pass. Union. Let's go way back here by Baltimore and see what the deal is. I think they're not going to do anything, these guys. Let's go back westward. And we got this 11 Maryland. Yeah, we're gonna move him. Fatigue. Hold on. Do they have any movement restrictions, these guys? Let me just these orange guys. Um, West Virginia movement restrictions. What am I up to? 29 minutes? Okay, not bad. West Virginia movement restrictions. No begins a game on the map. Blah 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 blah. Okay, that's as far as they can move. End of game. Yeah, there's nothing that says that these orange guys that can't move. Let me go to 5. Uh, Harpers Ferry Bridge, Confederate setup, special rules. Okay. Yeah, end of game. Okay, no, I don't think there's. I could be wrong. I don't think there's anything that says these orange guys can't move. And I do want to move one of them. 11th Maryland, fatigue, 1 die. He's going to be 3. 1, 2, 3, and a die roll 2 die. Rebs pass to the Union. Second, 11th Maryland. Fatigue. 1 die. He gets to go 1. And a die roll. 5, 5. Rebs pass to the Union. Okay, so I think that may be it for the Union. They're not going to push these guys to orange, and that's basically it. They got these guys in DC. Yeah, solid. And then the guys in Baltimore, we're not going to do anything with them right now. And we'll go all the way back this way. And yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll just call it a turn. Okay, both parties are going to pass. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this turn, but let me take you through the recovery phase and what's involved with that. I mean, I do have to do that to complete this turn because it is interesting. So what you have right here is it's a point lookout phase. No, we don't have that. Recovery phase. Before you do recovery, you need to try to forage. Okay, you need to try to forage everybody that is eligible for the rebels because they have a supply problem. Let me find foraging. Here it is. So where are they right now? Where they're all the Shenandoah Valley, Berkeley, Jefferson, Frederick. Is that basically where they all are? Yes. So that's a 4. And let me explain that. So what I do is the first thing I do before recovery, before any of that, is what I do is I go ahead and take, you can't see this. I'm going to go to the supply thing and drop everybody down 1. And everybody's at 2, so I'm going to drop everybody down to 1. And what does that mean? Well, when you hit 0, you're out of supply, and if you successfully forage, you go back up to 5. 5's obviously better. So everybody's going to forage. I've already dropped everybody's supply down. I'm going to start with the northernmost rebel. But here's the problem. All these guys that are orange, you can't forage if you're fatigue 3 or more. So they're ineligible. However, these rebel infantry units can forage. So how does this work? Well, the area that they're in right now is allotted a 4, number 4, and you take away their fatigue, which in all these cases right here, these units over to the left, their fatigues are 2. So if I roll a die and they hit a 1 or a 2, they regain their supply. It goes up to 5. So let's start. Gordon, well, he needs a 1 or a 2. 5, not happening. Eccles, 1 or a 2. He gets a 5. Okay. Who's on top? Ramser, 1 or a 2. Not even close. And Rhodes, 1 or a 2. Okay, so all 4 of those guys fail to successfully forage. Now I do the recover button. Where's the damn recover button? Where's Sunny? Okay, so you've noticed that everybody's lost their fatigue and the rebels are going to be they're not currently out of supply, but the next time we do this, when we hit their supply, they're all going to be down at zero. So effectively, I'm going to put them all to out of supply and they're going to have to forage to get back in supply. So guys, guys and gals, this video is 35 minutes. You're going to see what the Rebs are trying to do as I move out. I'll give you a preview. So this is what they're going to do. They're going to move northeast, that is to say these infantry units, Winchester over through Martinsburg. They're going to cross around Williamsport, get into like Hagerstown. This is where we start levying people, levying. Sharpsburg. We want to levy places in Maryland, Frederick. We want to lever Harper's Ferry. Every play, pretty much like most major places in Maryland can be levied for points. For instance, like Hagerstown, I think is like 10 points or 8 to 10, something like that. I'm not sure about that. But they're going to move in that general vicinity and then start moving south to southeast. That's my plan. I mean, I can verbalize this plan because I'm soloing, so it's not like I'm hiding it from anybody. But anyways, that's the first turn of Rebels in the White House. It's very slick. It's very tight. There's a lot of stress involved. It's very tense. If you're playing, I would recommend that the better player, the player with more experience, initially takes up the rebel cause because they're going to have to walk a tightrope between supply and being aggressive to to do what they want to do to be successful. The Union has a little more. There's a little more leeway for them to screw up and still thwart the rebels. So this is pretty cool. I might make another video tonight, but that's the opening salvos from Rebel in the White House. Really didn't do much because the Rebs were fatigued too, with exhausted, so wasn't really much I could do. And the Union's already alerted, so that is interesting. Um, what I need to do is I may have to give the because they are alerted. I'm gonna have to reread the rules, and I may be able to do something with what AOP may have been able to move up into one of their holding boxes. I'll have to go back and look at that, but I want to get that straightened out before I come back for video too. So this is John. This is you guys should actually give this some love and play this for yourselves. Find a good opponent, and I guarantee you won't be let down by this scenario if you understand what's going on. It's pretty damn good. All right, I'm out. Talk to you guys later. Bye bye.